Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this video, I have got my preview for the upcoming Highlanders versus Hurricanes match, but if you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. But yeah, let's get right into this preview. Right, so the game will be kicking off at 7:05 PM on Sunday. The game is being played at Forsyth Barr Stadium in Dunedin. Now, a big change since the last time these two sides met at that stadium. That was in round 10 of Super Rugby Aotearoa 2020, and at that stage they weren't allowed to have a crowd for that match. And something I will mention, that match was actually probably one of the matches of the competition. The score in the end, 38 to the Highlanders, 21 to the Hurricanes. It was back and forth rugby. There are some insane stats that happened throughout that match that I will be mentioning a little bit later on in this video. But yeah, no crowd for that match. But for this one, there is going to be a large attendance, and they are going to be cheering on the home team, the Highlanders. If they can get this win with a bonus point, that will push them up into second place on the table. That is dependent on what the result of the Chiefs versus Blues game is though, of course. So like I mentioned, that game in round 10 of Super Rugby Aotearoa 2020, 38 to the Highlanders, 21 to the Hurricanes. Now these two sides met in round 5 of the Super Rugby Aotearoa competition. That was in July, and the score in that one was 17 to the Hurricanes, 11 to the Highlanders. So these two sides won each in terms of the win. So far in the Super Rugby Aotearoa competition, the Highlanders have been able to win one match with a bonus point. That was up against the Chiefs, and then the Hurricanes are still yet to be able to get their first win of the season, but they will be wanting to change that in this match against the Highlanders, because if they don't get this win, the Hurricanes, it is going to be a very, very slim possibility of them being able to make the finals. But the Highlanders at this stage, if they win this, they have got a pretty good chance if they are going to be able to beat the Blues in the next round. So the first match that I will be recapping a little bit was that match in round 5 where the Hurricanes were able to get the win. In that match, the Highlanders, they actually made 107 more tackles than the Hurricanes. That is an insane number, but they only missed 11 more tackles in that one. So something that has happened in the past in these matches between the sides is the fact that the Hurricanes have been missing just a few too many tackles. In the last match that the two sides faced each other, the Hurricanes had 40 missed tackles, which I feel like if they do that in this match that has taken place very soon, I don't think the result will be able to go their way. But something that the Highlanders will be looking to do throughout this match is that rolling maul. It has looked strong for them throughout the start of this season. It also worked well against the Hurricanes in previous encounters. In the first match, it was Aaron Smith who was able to pick up the try off the rolling maul. Ash Dixon passed it out to him on the right hand side, and he was able to score it. In the second match, Ash Dixon, he didn't need Aaron Smith for it, because he was able to score it all by himself. And then also in that second match, there was a penalty try awarded to the Highlanders, and that was off a rolling maul as well, and that was actually a yellow card to Artie Savi in that one. So one thing that the Hurricanes are going to have to get right in this match is the discipline, or else the Highlanders, they will be very tempted to kick for that corner and then try that rolling maul tactic once again. But yeah, that match at Forsyth Barr Stadium last year, like some of those stats that were racked up in that match are just crazy. The likes of the meters carried, the Highlanders had 664 and the Hurricanes, they had 697. Normally a game is a pretty decent one when you have one of those two sides number, but they were able to rack up over 1,300 meters carried throughout the 80 minutes. Also 146 carries for the Highlanders, 140 for the Hurricanes. 61 defenders beaten between the two sides. Each side made exactly 131 tackles. This match was very even on paper when you read through it, but then in the end, the Highlanders were just able to score a couple more tries, and that was what got them the win. Someone who had a very good match for that one was Mitch Hunt. He was in the number 15 jersey for that one, other than the last try, which was where he had a little bit of a fumble, which led to Peter Umaga Jensen scoring. But other than that, Mitch Hunt, he was picking the gaps very well, running hard with ball in hand, was able to pick himself up a try as well. And throughout the two matches that these two sides played last year, he was the man who had the most meters carried for the Highlanders in both appearances. So that is very impressive from him. And the first match, he was actually playing in that number 10 jersey. For this match, he is going to be back in that number 10 jersey. So it is going to be interesting to see what he can do from there and see if he is going to be able to have another good performance against the Hurricanes. Now, someone else who had a very good match in round 10 was Geordie Barrett. He had the most meters carried out of any player on the field. It was with 124. Very impressive from him and his long boot. I mentioned it in part 1 of this preview that long boot of Geordie Barrett's, it is going to be a key for the Hurricanes, because the other side of it is they aren't too bad with the rolling maul either. They have scored quite a few tries off them so far this season, and they are going to have a very experienced man who is going to be wearing that number 2 jersey. That is going to be Dane Coles, making his return, his first appearance for this Super Rugby Aotearoa 2021 competition. So far, Asafa Amua and also Ricky Riccatelli have both been able to pick up tries from that number 2 jersey, so I feel like Dane Coles, maybe it won't be any different for him. Now, I mentioned earlier that the Highlanders made 195 tackles in the first match that these two sides faced each other. Now, something that should be noted there was the highest amount of tackles made was 17. That was by Jack Wedden. He is not playing this match, and he actually had a very good match against the Hurricanes in the second encounter as well. So they may be missing him a little bit there. But Karefi for the Hurricanes, he was able to make 18 tackles in the match in round 10. So that is very impressive from him. His work rate throughout the Super Rugby Aotearoa 2021 competition, it has been pretty impressive. Duplessis Karefi, and he will be trying to work his way up to the most tackles made after round 5. Now, another Highlanders player I am going to briefly talk about. He is in the number 13 jersey for the Highlanders in this one. It is Michael Collins, a little bit of a dark horse. Not too many people mention about him, but he had a very good performance against the Hurricanes in the last match. Beat 8 defenders in that one, the highest out of anyone on the field. Also carried the ball for 73 metres, scored a try, and he also had 17 carries throughout that match. Now, Laumape, we have seen in the last few matches, has been having a lot of carries in that centre role, and in the first match these two sides played, it was no different. He had 88 metres carried, and he had 20 carries in that match, so that just shows that both sides in these matches will be willing to use their backline as well as hitting it up with the forwards. Marino Makali too, he was the second most metres gained for the Highlanders in that second match at Forsyth Barr. 17 carries, 97 metres, so both of these sides, they are going to be wanting to pick up the win. They both need this win if they do want a chance of being able to make it into that final. The second game of the weekend is going to be the Blues versus the Chiefs, and that one actually could be a little bit closer, I feel, than a lot of people are thinking. I will be doing a preview of that as well, where I go through the past stats, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video talking about all of the stats that have happened in the past that may have a little bit of an impact in the match that is going to be happening a bit later on. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.